I don't believe this actually came out today, but we were expecting that Robert Mueller was going to release these sentencing documents for Michael Flynn today, Paul Manafort we're hearing maybe Friday. These are called public-facing documents?
Yeah, it's bringing information to the public about why they're doing what they've been doing. For instance, for Flynn, it's about what Flynn has been providing for them since he's been cooperating for a year. I think they've delayed his sentencing recommendation for 4 different times because they were still cooperating. So this will be whether or not he thinks Flynn should face any jail time and what he's been doing to help.
Do you, as a betting man, do you think in the end people will be satisfied or disappointed? Let's put it, when I say people who have been looking to this Mueller investigation as the moment that it will all come crashing down. Do you think they will be disappointed or satisfied?
Well, there are certain left-leaning cable hosts that I think that they will be very disappointed because it won't be, literally Donald Trump, a picture with him and a smoking gun and, a tattoo of Vladimir Putin on his chest. But I do think it won't be good.
Yeah.
I think it will be ugly. I don't think it will necessarily affect him per se, and he won't be indicted because there's Justice Department guidelines that sitting presidents are seldom ever, I think never indicted. But look, and here's the honest answer. None of us have any idea.
None of us have any idea.
Really? I mean, had you ever heard of George Papadopoulos before he was, before that plea agreement came out?
I had not, no. Tell me real about this. Last time you were talking about your New York Times best-selling fiction book, Hellfire Club.
Yes.
You had written a nonfiction book a ways back called The Outpost,
yes.
a wonderful, thrilling book about a real-life incident that happened. And now it's being adapted into a film.
That's right. Rod Lurie, the director, we just finished shooting in Bulgaria, where they had recreated the entire Army base, Combat Outpost Keating. My family and I, we went to go visit and look at this Army base. There are 3 actual veterans who served at Cop Keating. It was attacked, and it was a horrible battle in 2009. And they're working on the set. I hooked them up with Rod, and they're working on the set and advising on the movie, acting in the movie. And they were there, and they were kind of like spooked out, but also found it cathartic that they were on this recreation of a U.S. base that had been attacked and had been destroyed.
And obviously some lives were lost, and this is a case where now people are being, some of those real-life people are being portrayed in this film.
Yeah, so this is, that's Rod Lurie, the director. This is Jacob Scipio. He's a British actor who plays Justin Gallegos. Justin was killed on October 2nd, 2009, and he actually, he was awarded posthumously a Silver Star, and the Army just announced that they're upgrading it to a Distinguished Service Cross. So it's great. It's a way to honor these men and their families, and I hope it's meaningful for them. It's been meaningful to be part of it.
Another thing we talked about is your daughter wrote an op-ed in the New York Times.
NewYorkTimes.com, yes.
Yes.
An op-ed about...
And she is how old now?
She's 11. She was 10 when she and Barry Weiss, the editor, worked on
Because
it.
11's a little late. Yeah. I'm glad she got it in at 10, because by 11, most people have written their op-ed in the New York Times.
She came up with this great idea to encourage girls to raise their hand in class. She noticed that boys would raise their hand, and even if they had no idea what the answer was, squirrels, they would do, they would. But girls didn't do. The girls were very reticent, very reluctant. And so she talked about it with her Girl Scout troop. She came up with the idea for a patch, a raise your hand patch to encourage girls to raise their hand. And I tweeted the picture of the patch. I was so excited, and Barry Weiss from the New York Times saw it, and Alice wrote an op-ed for the Times.
And now it's being adapted. You guys, if you like that, you guys are going to be blown away by this. It's adapted into a book. Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Yeah, this is it's so great, right? It comes out in March. And it's basically Alice's story. Marta Kissy did the illustrations. They're amazing. And yeah, that's Alice. That's what she looks like. She's cuter than that.
That's fantastic. You are also an accomplished artist. You do the State of Cartoonian every week.
Every week, yeah.
Were you ever in the mix to maybe do the art for this book?
No, look how good this is. I mean, no. They asked me.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I also think this is better than yours. But I was wondering, you knew right away that you weren't going to get the gig.
I didn't want to. I'm not that good. This is amazing stuff. They did ask me to do some illustrations that are in the liner notes, like when you open the book before you get to the pages. It's kind of like the very forgettable pages.
Yeah, the one you flip through because you're like, this
isn't
the book yet. You don't even notice
that this isn't the book. I'm not in the book. The liner notes have some illustrations. They're not in this copy here. They have some illustrations that that I did. But I feel like they did that to make me feel better.
Yeah, like they wanted to let you down easy for the fact
Well,
that
Alice has a big book coming out, and but you can do the cartoons and not the ones that people will look at.
Are you a little, obviously, now you're both in the book game. Are you a little worried more people are going to buy Alice's books?
I hope more people buy her book than mine. Although we should note, all of the money, Alice is donating all of it to the local chapter of the Girl Scouts.
That's fantastic.
So yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure with both of your books, you famously kept all the money, right?
No. For the novel, I did. But I did give a portion of the outpost to military charities.
And let me just say real quick, because you do so much with military charities, and you've helped me get involved with some of them as well. I remember reaching out to you to ask what some of the best are.
And every year when we do our auction, you donate a visit to the set here and a photo op for our auction to raise money for Homes for Our Troops.
But you have been so helpful with me. Do you feel like, right now, obviously we have and again, we're talking about, when you mentioned John McCain, you mentioned George H.W. Bush, obviously they served this country. We have a president who talks a lot about how he's the best president for the military ever. Real quick, is this country doing enough for our vets?
Never. We're never doing enough for our vets. I mean, the very fact that a charity like Homes for Our Troops has to exist, where it builds mortgage-free, specially designed homes for the most severely wounded veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq, just so they can have some semblance of a normal life. The very fact that that charity has to exist says we're not doing enough for our veterans. But what I'm most concerned about right now is I think we're actually now at a point where more troops have killed themselves post-war than died in the first Iraq War or in the Iraq War, the most recent Iraq War, because of the rate of military suicides. And so dealing with that is something that I think society really has to grapple with.
Well, I certainly agree with you, and thank you for everything you do for the vets, and thank you for being here. It's always such a pleasure to see you, buddy.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah to you.